Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Jason, and I have modified both this Tundra right here as well as a 5th gen 4Runner, and I want to talk about some of the mods that I've done on both of these that were really super easy. Like some of the easiest mods I could think of that, if you just got your vehicle, you can go ahead and do these, or if you hadn't thought about these and you want something to do in an afternoon, this is stuff you can do. And with some of these might take you 1 minute in total. So let's take a look at some of the mods you can do to your truck, your SUV, that are super super easy. So if your vehicle came with a long antenna like mine did, this is a 2018 Tundra. It's just a short little antenna that you can go ahead and screw on. And this install took all of maybe 1 or 2 minutes to do, and it basically just shortens this little guy right here so you don't have that huge antenna sticking out. For me, that was actually kind of distracting, so getting one of these is super easy. Like I said, it might take an entire minute in total. So next up is going to be blacking out the badges. Now this is a super simple mod. All you got to do is there's some like sticky like two-sided, double-sided tape on there, and you're just going to press this on there. So obviously you're going to have to clean off that badge before you put that on there. But once you do that, you just stick it on there, let it sit for a little bit. I've got one right here. I've got the Tundra little SR5 logo. And yeah, if you have any of those chrome badges like Toyota loves to put on there, you can easily swap that out. I swapped out this grill, but I would say this takes a little more time. You can do that pretty easily, in my opinion. I think this is pretty easy. It's a super easy mod that takes maybe, I don't know, 3 minutes in total. Just make sure you clean it with alcohol, make it clean so that it will adhere to the actual metal kind of chrome piece on the back of this. So something that I think is really easy is this install. Now this one is probably the most in-depth one of the list, but basically these little lights right here are not very difficult. If we're talking about these big bangers up here, these Morimoto big bangers, now that's a little bit more in-depth and requires a lot more, wiring know-how. This paired with the Garmin Power Switch is super easy. I did this in like maybe an hour. And even then, that was because I was filming it. Essentially, all you're going to do is remove a bolt on here, slide this little piece in, and then you're just going to put the wire in there and stick the Garmin Power Switch on the unit however you'd like. Let me show you what that looks like. Now I'm going to go ahead and say that this is a much more elaborate setup, and this is not what I'm suggesting. I will overlay what this looked like when I did it originally, and this was super super easy. The setup I have right here is a lot more intricate. So this is basically two Garmin Power Switch setups because I have a lot more lights now. But if you just do one of these, all you have to do is bolt this on right here and just run the wire somewhere in there. There's not really any splicing or anything like that. You just run it in and plug the single power switch in, and then you've got your ditch lights. You can even see where these bolts are right here. This is originally where I had it, so I just bolted this on there, the single one. When I got more lights, I ended up doing this kind of setup, which I did not do myself. I had Up Top Overland do that because this is so much more intricate and definitely not on the list of easy mods. A single one run to some ditch lights. I did that on this one as well as my 4Runner. Doesn't take a lot of time. No piercing the firewall. This is run off of Bluetooth, so as long as you have a smartphone where you can just pair it to this, then super easy. Maybe takes less than an hour to do. This is one of my favorite ways I've ever used to mount phone. So basically, all you're going to do is slide that in like that. So let's say you pull up like the Garmin Power Switch. Now I could essentially turn on all my lights from right over here on my phone, and doesn't really take up a lot of space. It's also super low key and it's not very invasive. Now a lot of the ones that like stick to your dash or stick in your to this actual the plastic part, they're very flimsy and they can fall over. This one is super solid even off-road. So essentially it's just going to bolt up here and it's going to clamp on either side of this, and it'll tighten down there. And you can move this however you want. You can get this all the way up, all the way around. You can turn it sideways. You can turn it however you want, but I've gotten it exactly where I want to, and I don't want to move it, but very easy. All you have to do is push that. Now, obviously, this is upside down. This is just off Rome, but I like to be able to press it this way and get it in there. So typically it goes upside down. I just found this a little bit better. I'll drop a link to this below. It's just a really cool mod that, I don't know, takes 2 minutes there. And then you've essentially got your phone in this space, and it's not going to go anywhere. Very, very easy modification. So next up, we've got these little organization drawers. I had this on my 4Runner, a very similar one. This one technically actually came with my Tundra when I bought it, so somebody before me got this. But it's a very easy mod, and you can keep your gear in here, like quick, easy stuff to get to, you know, eyes. You've got, you know, medication, Costco cards, stuff like that. It's definitely not as organized as it could be. I've been doing some modifications. I just put some new traction boards up there. So I've got my traction board key from up top. Great little organization there. Well as this actual part, this is really great because it keeps everything like I want it. We've got some bear spray, you know, just lots of little tools, as well as first aid. This is Dark Angel Medical, and I will talk more about Dark Angel Medical in a second. But it's super easy to organize things, and not everything is just on top of each other as if this wasn't in here. If you didn't have this organization here, everything's kind of piling up. So it's, yeah, it's just not great. So did this on my 4Runner as well as that, and I really like it on this one. If your vehicle didn't come with it, then getting some organization for inside the glove box is great. I had that on my 4Runner. It was kind of a split one. Again, this one did come with my Tundra, so I'm not actually sure if this is stock or if this is something aftermarket. If you don't have it, getting organization is really great because then you can keep things separate. Now for this next one, this is just kind of nice because it's really customizable, and that is actually going to be this shifter knob. So the stock shifter knob is fine, perfectly fine. Went ahead and swapped it out with this. Now this is one of the easiest things to do because all you got to do is this exact move with the original one, the stock one, and then swap this one on. Very easy. And they have this for a lot of Toyota parts. You can see here, you've got the old Toyota Japanese logo. The reason this is really cool is because it is very customizable. So essentially I could use any of these and just put them on there like that. And they really are hard to get up. So it's good because it's not going to come flying out, but very customizable, and you can make it whatever you want basically. So we've got the TRD, we've got the all-white version of the one I have there. Now for this video alone, we're going to do a giveaway on this. So if you have a Tundra, Tacoma, a 4Runner, we're going to do a giveaway on this. If you comment below your favorite modification that you've done to your vehicle that took, you know, less than a few minutes, maybe even up to an hour, comment that below. You can comment a few different things. Just don't comment the same thing over again because YouTube recognizes that as spam. So if you comment below, we'll pick a winner and you guys will be able to win one of these shift knobs. Now the next one I'm gonna have to show you here in a couple days because I just ordered them, but I've heard so many good things about it that I went ahead and added it to this list. That's gonna be these little rubber mats here. In mine, I have nothing basically, and the drinks will rattle, stuff in here will rattle, it'll make a lot of noise. This little section has another one right there, and basically this thing, although I love this hand sanitizer and it fits perfectly in this little section, but it rattles when I'm, you know, off-road. So putting these little rubber things in each of these compartments is a great way to keep the rattling down and also make it so it's super easy to clean your drink in there. All you gotta do is take that little rubber mat out, wash it, and you're good to go. This is really annoying to get to if you don't have the mats. So if you have to clean in there, it's kind of annoying. and also the rattling noise is just really annoying. So a lot of cars that are, like around 2018, 24, something like that, a little bit newer, are going to come with an option of getting the rubber floor mats. I have rubber floor mats in the Tundra. I did not have it stock in the 4Runner. Now on my 4Runner, I added these last fit ones. You can get WeatherTech, you can get Husky liners, but it is a great mod, and it's going to keep your car a lot cleaner. I live in Colorado and it gets snowy and muddy and nasty, and just getting in and out of the vehicle, I don't want to ruin the floors. It's protected very well. The lip comes up on all of these sides, so you can see all this dust and dirt. It has contained it to mostly this WeatherTech or Last Fit. That's going to be your best bet. But this one does a pretty good job. So I'll go ahead and scoot this back so I can show you. And this is going to be the Desert Does It panel. This one is the one with the seat jacker. You don't have to do that, but as long as you have a torque wrench, get everything torqued down to spec, this shouldn't take you more than a few minutes. Basically what this is a great way of holding knives and multi-tools, flashlights, and even over here you'll see a mount for certain type of thing that I will not talk about on YouTube, but it easily fits right at my feet, and so if I really needed to grab it in an emergency, I could get it. Same with all these knives. I have a lot of knives on here just because some of them have different functions. This one is actually a glass break and a seatbelt cutter, so I like having that on there in case something happens. Multi-tools, I've got this Gerber here, great multi-tool. This might take 20 minutes in total. And then you've essentially got a panel where you can mount stuff with magnets, like very strong magnets here. Now, one I haven't personally done on either of my vehicles, but I've been wanting to do it for a while here, so I definitely will at some point, is the little window visors that go in the top part. So essentially, if I wanted to have just this cracked a little bit, I would still have protection from the rain if I had those visors. It's a super easy thing to do. I just haven't gotten around to buying it. I always look at, the mods that help me camp better, and I always forget to do the little things like that. So it's great, especially if you sleep inside your vehicle. Like a lot of people, like my old 4Runner, will sleep inside their vehicle. And if you're doing that, you really need some airflow. And if it rains, then you don't want to have these windows open. So having that visor is a really great way to do that. Now this one is something that I would recommend for everybody to do on their vehicle. This is a really great spot to put your medical shears. You've got your tourniquets. I would recommend that you get at least trained on how to use these first, but this is really super easy, and it actually just sits on the back of the headrest. The reason I really like it on the back of the headrest is, let's say, God forbid, you roll your vehicle, something along those lines. Now, if you're telling somebody, hey, I've got a tourniquet in my back seat, they're gonna like rummage around looking for the back seat. Where is it? Is it under here? Is it here? And that's just time wasted. So having it on the headrest is great because you can go, hey, there's a tourniquet right on the back of my headrest. So all you're gonna do is do that right there, and it will pull right off so you can get to it. And essentially you could keep whatever you wanted inside, but I have 2 tourniquets, and then inside I've got some gloves, some wraps, and you can either get this like empty and add whatever you want, or you can get the kit that they have. This is going to be in-house in Colorado. Believe they're down in the Springs, but a really great company, and you can easily get to it, and it makes me feel a lot safer, and especially knowing that all I have to do in an emergency is say, hey, it's on my headrest, go grab it. Now this next one is not on my vehicle right now because I am about to go biking, but this hitch shackle right here is super easy, and if I don't have this bike rack on there or something on the back, I always keep the hitch shackle on there because you never know when you need to be recovered. These are really cheap. I mean, I think this one was like 27 bucks, and I had this on my 4Runner. I bought this probably 4 years ago, and I still use it. It locks in there, very nice, and it's a good recovery point on the back. So even if you don't off-road, you just drive around in town, having this is really nice because there's a lot of people where I live at least who don't off-road, who, you know, it snows sometimes up to like 36 inches. And if you run off into a ditch, you have no way of being recovered from the back. So having that hitch on there, you know, when you're not towing, when you're not putting, you know, your bike on the back, it's not difficult to just keep it on there. It's a point of recovery and it doesn't get in your way. I have recovered people with their hitch mounted shackles, and it's definitely the best way to get somebody out of a ditch, because most likely you're going to go into a ditch forward, so you're going to have to be yanked backwards or pulled backwards. So that is a really easy no-brainer to put on the back of your vehicle, and it really doesn't take but maybe 3 minutes in total to put that on there. Drop a link below to everything I talked about in this video, and if you guys have some really good suggestions in the comments, I will drop a link to those if I missed it and I think it's a really good opportunity. That being said, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video.